me because I studied Asian culture way back when I first started here, so I'm all about it.
Okay, great. Our film Forever Chinatown is about an 82-year-old Chinese-American guy who lives in San Francisco, California. He is an artist who, over the years, has realized his memories were fading, and he wanted to find a way to remember his life, his stories. And he is an artist and an art director and a production designer for TV, for sets. He was earlier in the 50s and 60s. And so he took on this massive project of building miniature rooms of his memories over the past 40 years. So he has created 7 extraordinary miniature models of rooms and streets of his life. There's also a laundry, there's an herb shop, and these are all pieces of his life that he really wanted to keep and pass on his legacy to family and the community. So he created these extraordinary models that are now at the Chinese Historical Society Museum in San Francisco. And we discovered them, our director James Chan and I, we're both also producers. We discovered these in the museum, and they were absolutely extraordinary documents of living in San Francisco in the 30s and 40s.
You know, that's interesting culture. What was interesting about that for you? Because that's lost art. That's actually history.
Well, on many, many levels, it's really both. The artwork itself is extraordinary because they're realist. They're almost hyper-realist models. And if you were to look at them in person, you'll see that the details of even the names on the tags of the laundry that are being picked up, in those blue paper-wrapped packages when you get your clothes back from a Chinese laundry. There are items on his grandmother's kitchen shelf in the cupboards that have all of the products and all of the very specific items that are from the period, from the era. There are amazing. There's a shoe shine stand, and it has all of the newspapers and the little tools that people use to shine shoes. There's tobacco. It's really an extraordinary document. So as we were looking through all of these miniatures, we realized that no one, or very rarely, do people capture their lives and their memories in this kind of extraordinary detailed state. So we thought that we would take some photos of it, and they are incredibly photogenic, and we pursued making a documentary about the artist, about his artwork, and also really about the community and the actual physical architectural neighborhood that he is capturing.
I like the fact that you're passionate about this. This makes me really want to see this film really badly. Talk about when it's screening this Sunday, is it?
It's screening this Sunday at 11:30, April 30th, here in downtown Los Angeles at the Independent Theater. It's part of a program of short films about memory and about capturing one's life through artwork. So our film will be screening 11:30 Sunday, April 30 at the Downtown Independent.
What did you find interesting about him besides the miniatures? How did he start? Because that's got to be interesting.
His name is Frank, and Frank is a very unique individual. He is initially very forthcoming and very warm, and as we got to know him and as we pursued both the project as well as documenting his life, this took about 3 years or so to capture, we realized that he was slightly less forthcoming the more we got to spend time with him. And what we realized was that a lot of his own memories, which some are incredibly joyous and beautiful and others we believe are quite painful, he has basically put all of these emotions and memories and directed all of his energy into his artwork. And so the artwork really is a manifestation of his life. and how he also communicates, because they're very romantic and beautiful and surreal on one level, and at the same time they're very realistic, and he himself describes the artwork as half wishing and half memory. So it really highlighted the way that we think everyone filters their memories and filters what they decide to tell to other people. And so through Frank's work, this is really how he has chosen to share to the world what his life was and all of his memories of growing up in this very, very specific Chinatown of San Francisco.
Give us the social media context for Forever Chinatown.
Absolutely. Our website is foreverchinatown.com, and you can find us there. And from there, we're going to be on PBS as well in the month of May and June. So the film will be out through the World Channel, called a series called Local USA, and then all of the regional PBS markets will be airing it throughout the summer. So we really look forward to having the big general public on television be able to see the film. And we hope that it brings up a lot of questions or asks people, how do they capture their own lives, how do they capture their memories, what do they decide to leave behind when they're gone. Because he's in his 80s, and he realizes that he does not have, he's not a young man anymore, and he has a perhaps limited time left. And one of the things that we describe and that we capture on film is he has decided that he wants to burn these miniatures with him and to take them with him into the afterlife. And when everyone hears that, they're both mortified, no pun intended, but because these are really world-class pieces of artwork. And so throughout the film, we had this long discussion. That was also one of the driving questions that we had throughout the film about what he was really intending to do with his artwork, who is he really doing it for, and is he going to leave them behind for others to see, or is he going to take them with him?
Quickly, tell us about your background, because you made some interesting films. I know you work very, very well. What are you working on next?
I'm a producer, writer. I also represent films, so I wear a lot of different hats. I have a couple of documentaries that have come out recently, and they've been on PBS. They're on Netflix right now. We have some films in development. I have a series. Actually, the last 3 films I've done are documentaries, but I'm developing 2 feature fiction projects as well, and they're all related to Asia Pacific stories. Characters, some based in the U.S., but some based in Asia, Pacific, Hawaii, and New Zealand, with Maori culture as well, and Native Hawaiian culture. We are developing another series that's set in Shanghai, and I have a lot on my plate, but 2 recent films that just came out, in fact, over the last 2 weeks. One is called Defender, and it's a documentary about how racial bias in the United States has permeated and really is existing throughout the judicial system in the U.S. And Defender is based on a short film called The Ride, which will be also screening here at the film festival, at L.A. Asian Pacific Festival, also on Sunday afternoon. And that will be screening with the film Abacus by Steve James. So The Ride, which is by Jeff Adachi, and Abacus by Steve James are screening also this coming Sunday at 4:30. And I am working with Jeff on The Ride, and as well as the expanded feature-length documentary called Defender. And that film, we are doing a little bit of more work on it, and then we're going to be launching it out again through both festivals and television circuit. The other film that just premiered 2 nights ago in San Francisco is called 12 Pianos. It's a documentary about 2 artists, 2 musicians in San Francisco Bay Area who find old pianos that are in disrepair. They fix them up, and they basically give them to the public for outdoor music concerts and performances. So it's also a document about how music can be part of our lives and how it can be given out freely and bring some extraordinary joy to people in the world when there are a lot of stresses going on right now. And the film had its world premiere 2 nights ago at the Green Film Festival in San Francisco, and it'll also be launched over the coming few months through the festival circuit and then eventually on television.
How can people reach you again?
You can reach us through www.foreverchinatown.com, and you can say hello to us. You can reach us through the website, and from that you can find out all of our screening dates, our festival dates. We've been traveling around the world over the last year. We had our premiere at Full Frame Doc Festival, amazing festival, about a year ago. We've traveled to Vietnam, to Poland, to New Zealand, and a lot of film festivals around the U.S. And we are almost at the end of our festival circuit for the Chinatown film. And then we'll have our TV launch. We're going to have one more screening in Los Angeles on Sunday, and then a couple of screenings in New York this summer, and then it'll be all over television. And one can find it online or streaming through the PBS system.